I'm Jesse Johnson.
And I'm Melva Thomas Johnson. Thank you so much for joining us. In our last video, we shared with you why a marriage and relationship vision is important and why it's powerful. In this video, we're going to share with you the first how. And that how is how to write a personal marriage and relationship vision statement.
In our last video, we talked about the fact that happiness in life and in your relationship is really not dependent upon other people. It's really dependent upon you. That you have the power to create the life and relationship that you desire. That first, however, anything that you want to create is first created in the mind. You must have a vision of what it is that you're seeking and wanting to create before you can achieve that. So again, it's not up to other people, neither is it up to fate or luck. It's up to you. You have the power to create the life and relationship of your dreams. In this video, we want to share with you a process for creating a personal vision statement. And we'd like to use the couple that we have demonstrated before, that has been in Ada, in terms of showing you how they did that.
So one important thing that Ben and Ada did was that they did write a two-part marriage and relationship vision statement. The personal statement was about who they wanted to be in relationship with each other, what they wanted to do to be their best in their relationship with the other, and what they wanted to have together as a couple. They also wrote a joint vision statement, and we're going to cover that in the next video.
So the process that Ben and Ada used was that they found some time where they could be alone, uninterrupted, to really give some serious thought to the kinds of things that they needed to do, areas where they needed to grow in order to be their best when things were going well as at times in which they were having challenges in their life. So they took the time separately to think about that and to write down their ideas.
So this also gave them an opportunity to, in that process of beginning within, to clarify a focus for their intention and the choices that they plan to make, so that in their relationship together, they would always make the best choices for the good of the relationship and for the good of each individual, each of them as an individual, and for their family.
So here's some guidelines that Ben and Ada used in writing their personal vision statement. The first step was to write in present tense, not at some future time, but as though it were happening right now. And they began each of their statements with the words, I am. So here's some examples. Now, each of them, by the way, wrote about 16 items that they wanted to work on. But we're just going to share with you 7 from each of them. So the first one, for example, that Ben wrote was, I am consistently creating internal safety with myself so that I can be more present when Ada reaches out to me. We know that's important because she reached out and he wasn't ready. So he's going to create more personal internal safety to do that. And number 2, I will show Ada and our family that they are a priority in my life. Of course, that's also very important for us men to do, that we let our families know how important they are and we make them a priority. Number 3, I make sure I have time to wind down when I get home from work, so that I am making a transition from the work environment to the home environment. And we know, again, that's important as well. Number 4, instead of shutting down and avoiding Ada when I feel uncomfortable, when I feel confronted. Let me start over again. Instead of shutting down and avoiding Ada when I feel confronted or attacked, I invite a dialogue with her to work things through. Number 5, I listen to Ada with curiosity and compassion with the intention to understand what she is saying and what she is needing from me to connect or to reconnect. Number 6, I initiate dialogue with Ada at least one time per week to discuss things that matter in our relationship and our family. And number 7, I am contributing as a teammate for parenting our children, taking care of our household chores, and attending to our finances.
And I'm going to read you 7 from Ada's list of 16. The first one is, I make sure Ben is in a space to hear me when I have something important to tell him. Number 2, I am paying attention to how Ben is different from me and honor it by letting him know how he brings richness to my life. You know, sometimes Ada wants Ben to be as enthusiastic as she is, and he is enthusiastic, but he doesn't express it the same way that she does. The third one is, I pay attention to what Ben and my children need from me to feel loved and cared about. Now, that's going to help her because she thought that she knew what they needed to feel loved and cared about. And when she went through the process to find out what they really did need and want, she was really surprised. So she's going to be more in tune with that. Number 4, I work with Ben to make sure that we make decisions about what is best for the growth and development of our marriage and our children. There are areas where they have totally different points of view, and in some cases, values in terms of especially parenting. So she intends to be a teammate with Ben in this area. Number 5, I express my thoughts and feelings lovingly, and in this way I feel connected to Ben and our children, and they feel connected with me. So this is going to be a growth opportunity for Ada because she is accustomed to just spontaneously sharing all of her feelings, the good, the bad, and sometimes the ugly. Number 6, I take care of myself so that I am healthy and happy. That's especially important for Ada because she, like many women, makes sure that everybody else is healthy and happy, and sometimes they ignore self-care. And number 7, I am respectful. So she is going to learn how to be more respectful, especially when she's upset.
So the next step for Ben and Ada, again working separately, is for each of them to review the list that they have written and to rank each item on a scale of 1 to 10. So 1 would be the lowest score, 10 would be the highest score. The goal is for them to move everything on their list to a 10, and they would need to decide what is it that I need to do for each item in order to move from where I am to where I'd like to be.
So after the decision, they need an action plan so that they have steps to move from where they are to where they want to be. Because if they're at a 6, so to speak, in any one of the areas that we just shared with you, then they're going to need some steps to move from a 6 to a 10. Now, the areas where they really get triggered by each other and have knee-jerk reactions, the good news is they have a focus, but some of those areas are really sensitive for them, and they're really vulnerable in those areas. So for those areas, we referred them to different therapists so that they had individual therapists just to help them to fine-tune those areas. And it's our policy when we're working with a couple that if there's individual support to be done, they get individual support.
Okay. It's important to remember that successful marriages and relationships are not so much a matter of finding the right person as it is of being the right person. And so each of us in the relationship have our own personal things that we need to work on in order to improve the quality of our life and the way that we relate to our partners. So this has been part one of writing your personal vision. And so in our fourth and final webinar, we will share with you how to write a joint vision statement.
See you then.